Good day, class. Today we are going to look at another type of renewable energy, the wind energy. As we can say from the name, wind energy is the energy when we derive it from the wind here. So we have different forms of energy where we have, heat, mechanical and electricity or electrical energy, which are the usable forms of energy. While we have other forms of energy which are converted into either heat, mechanical or electrical energy. Now, we saw this even in the previous video of solar energy, that there are different sources of energy where we can have something from fission, geothermal, fossil fuels, fuel cells, and we have another source which is the sun, and how we can utilize the sun as an energy source either directly or indirectly. Directly we saw use the heat of the sun, heat some water and then do some mechanical work and generate some electricity. We also found out how to use photovoltaics to generate electricity. An indirect form of solar energy is wind energy. Wind energy is created when the atmosphere is heated unevenly by the sun. Some patches of air become warmer than the others. These warm patches of air rise and other air rushes in to replace them. Thus, wind blows. Let's say this is the surface of the earth and the sun heats this air here near the surface of the earth. So what happens is that because this is warm air, it will actually rise up, because it will be definitely warm air would be much lighter than cold air. Adjoining cold air here, let's say here or here or from here or here, because it will feel there's a gap in this area, it will rush in. So when the cold air rushes in from the sides, it will create some form of a flow or it will cause wind. So this doesn't have to be near the surface of the earth, it can be in different parts of the atmosphere. Now we need to extract the energy from the wind for some usable work. So we'll be using a wind turbine to do that. A wind turbine extracts energy from moving air by slowing the wind down and transferring this energy into a spinning shaft, which usually turns a generator to produce electricity. The power in the wind that's available for harvest depends on both the wind speed and the area that's swept by the turbine blades. For example, let's say if the wind is here is quite fast, so if I have let's say 30 meter per second, so which would produce more energy? The 30 meter per second wind. So let's say if I have a larger diameter, if this is larger here, and if I have a much larger wind turbine, this turbine here would produce much larger energy compared to the smaller turbine here. Let's have a look at wind turbines now. There are two major types of wind turbines. One is called a horizontal axis wind turbine, which I think you would be more familiar with. In horizontal axis wind turbine, it is possible to catch more wind, and so the power output can be much higher than that of a vertical axis. But for that to happen, the tower has to be much higher and the more design parameters for the blades have to be designed. Why is that so? Let's say if I have a wind turbine blades which are somewhere here. So can I get enough wind in this region here? I don't think so. How big of a turbine can I have here? I don't think so I can have a big turbine here. So higher the tower, you have two advantages. One is the wind blows much stronger at higher altitudes compared to lower altitudes, so you have much higher wind energy production. And secondly, we can use larger turbine blades so that a larger area of wind is swept and we generate much larger energy from the wind. In a vertical axis wind turbine, the rotation is along this axis, so we don't need any yaw system. The maintenance is much easier in vertical axis turbine, whereas horizontal axis turbines offers much better performance here. Vertical axis wind turbine also operate at very low wind speeds, while horizontal axis wind turbine are generally operated at slightly higher wind speeds. Now let's have a look at a typical horizontal axis wind turbine. So we have first the rotor blades here. Now if you have ever seen a wind turbine, what you will notice is that the blades rotate at a very small speed. The wind is there, but it won't be rotating as fast as, for example, your motor or your generator. So how do we extract useful energy from this low speed of blade motion? So what we have is we have a gearbox here which converts the low speed into a higher speed. That high speed shaft is then coupled with a generator to generate electricity here. Now you'll notice two more things. Like I said before, horizontal axis wind turbine would require a yaw motor, while another thing you will notice here is something called an anemometer. What this does is that it will try to find out the direction of wind. So it will ensure that the wind turbine is always aligned in such a way that the maximum amount of wind is utilized and converted into energy.
Thank you.